Hey, how's it going? I have some cards, but I want to read something that I wrote because I think it might have something to do a little bit with the cards, but let's see. So the piece I wrote is called, I called it something else everywhere. The Kid in the Mirror and the Mirror Dimension. Okay, that's the title. The Kid in the Mirror and the Mirror Dimension. The first time I got a glimpse of a parallel dimension was as I was watching a paranormal clip show. At first it was obvious that it was being shown. It was obvious what was being shown. Couched as it was as paranormal activity on camera of the haunted house / abandoned property, ghost or poltergeist variety. It's on those terms that I watched, and when I saw when a boy looked in the mirror and his identical image moved out of sync with the boy. Okay. The mirror kept doing things after the boy startled and ran off. Mirror still not only projecting the image, but moving independently. Still in ghost mode, it's taken me an embarrassingly long time to think of the other side of the mirror as being its own full-on dimension. To consider the image mirroring back our image as an autonomous self, same appearing self. The same way identical twins can radically differ personality-wise and visibly be alike is a known quantity that exists in our reality. I suppose the mirror dimension scenario I described can also exist in this reality. That of the hunting / trickster spirit world stuff. My take on it is formed by channeled messages from Bashar through Daryl Anka. Bashar shared that the mirror image that matches our image and movement is simply us in another dimension. How else would mirror self so exactly match our movements? I ask you. Explain, Lucy. I dare you. Then there's the part of the paranormal caught on camera when the child on this side of the mirror, on that side of the mirror, chooses not to walk off with us, freaking us to freak out. This further reinforces what else Bashar said, which was, on the mirror image's side, they're not living under a veil. They are aware of their own multidimensional selves, such as those we're discussing, us and them. That a multiverse is real isn't news to them. That suggests they understand their own standing and personal power in the universe. Not just theirs, but the all-encompassing universe. We here, on the other hand, are still muddling along and finding our way. That right there, that tendency to minimize my own capability is the type of mindset many of us find ourselves in. it's not second nature to turn around and say, okay, there's got to be another way. It's even the most insidious and minute nature of the programming like that we have to shed. A mouse is tenacious enough to navigate from a dead end to an exit. We are capable of at least as much and more. I don't know why I have cotton mouth so bad. Hold on. Where is it? We are capable of at least as much or more. Or at least as much and more, excuse me. I don't suppose I need too much explain the ghost stuff and why it scares us so viscerally. They have the technology to make us feel them, to feel a certain unnerving way. They can penetrate us and know our minds. We, some of us, have access to the corresponding capability to penetrate them in return. We all have it at the young ages, but we learn to drop it because we don't want to stir or recall the ability. We don't want to be overwhelmed with unbidden sensory downloads. Wait, what did I just say? We don't want to be overwhelmed with unbidden sensory downloads. It's a lot. I find myself pondering whether or not we aren't creating more unease, disease even, inside ourselves for neglecting to exercise and instead suppress abilities we're born with in functioning order. Let me read that last bit again. I think that pause might have screwed up the cadence, but I find myself pondering whether or not we aren't creating more unease, disease even, inside ourselves for neglecting to exercise and instead suppressing abilities we're born with in functioning order. That was better. Hold on. I don't know how I always leave stuff off when I'm writing it. I'm lucky I can read it when I'm done. I think I no longer give consent to being ignorant. I reject being in the dark. I say it now, and I said it before today, and I will continue to repeat it every now and again. Because deep inside of us, I think we are fearful to act, remember, and learn what about us is hidden behind a veil. I also think we have a desire both to know and a resistance to, because it's not aligning with the status quo. Sometimes the status quo itself needs a refresh. Speaking of, sorry, almost nothing came out there. Speaking of reflections. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Speaking of reflections, we are living in a world full of mirrors. And I know how startling that can be. But that can be overcome when we gut it out and take a closer look. Because it's an opportunity to see ourselves as others do, in a way. And that is something worth reflecting upon. If taken, it's a chance to observe ourselves as the mirror image self, whose dimension appears to match our own. But who knows what's out of frame? You know, who knows what's going on beyond the edges of the frame that you can see right now. It looks that way, but go a little further and it could be completely unrecognizable. We don't know. It's not our dimension. Uh-oh, I lost my place. Oh, okay. Appearances. Shoot, hold on. Appearances are not necessarily the only defining feature of a people, place, or thing. It might also be like the episode of Rick and Morty where Rick is fucked up somewhere and is on the run. Fucked up somewhere again and is on the run. Searching for a suitable, safe dimension to hide in. And after repeatedly finding none, he says, "Why is it always Nazis?" As if the default is always great until you realize everyone's a Nazi. Except the ones who fell victim to the crime of whatever grasshoppers or locusts or whatever those things were called crime. Or the friendly teddy bear purge planet, if you take my meaning. They're so cute and friendly until nightfall it turns into the purge planet dimension. If we circle back to the start, we can go back to our suppressed powers and decide to use the technology we all carry genetically and in deeply buried memory. The technological capability of consciousness, especially when wielded en masse, can change the face of societies. It can right wrongs and bring injustice to the fore to be decided in favor of the just. The most powerful tool we have... Boy, I guess I was against paragraphs. The most powerful tool we have got at our disposal has always been the realization that there will be no one to swoop in and save us. No charismatic leader can be trusted to. We are the ones to do any saving of ourselves. When we reach that realization and intent collectively, pick one. Hold on, I have to fix that for when I upload it so that it makes sense. So, when we reach that realization and intent collectively, is when we'll see and experience the big change, peace, and hope fulfilled we have all wanted. We do it individually, but we're not alone. And that kind of... I know that I get repetitive here, and I have a message to give, and if I repeat it, it's because I can't assume that everyone already is familiar with what I'm talking about. So I pulled some cards, and I used tarot this time, which you may have noticed if you watch my channel that I don't use as often, and that is because I'm just not as comfortable with them. Like the oracle cards, I was able to use like right out of the box pretty easily. The tarot, I feel like, requires a little more knowledge and background, and I sort of started learning that and then just got, I guess, bored with it. I just felt like it became too much like studying for a test, so I kind of dropped it. But I didn't close my mind to what I still need. I didn't close my mind to what I feel I still need to learn. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and go with the tarot cards this time, and I'm glad I did because there seemed to be a theme to the cards that I pulled. So Hold on, I just want to get my little notes together. So, first card from the Light Seers deck is the Seven of Cups. And, you'll notice, I don't know, let me just get it out. I noticed that the figure on the card is, he's got his tattoos and his cap and his longer hair, which makes me think this is a contemporary young person. And at this time, we are all faced with a lot of choices. I think the reason why this person in my mind right now is giving me hipster vibes and youthful vibes is because I feel like it's representing the changing of the guard that is underway, I feel like, in the United States government right now. I think that, for example, Nancy Pelosi's choice not to run for her position or to run for any position next term is like a milepost, kind of, or what is the well, it's a road mark notable along the way here of the changing. She is one of the guard that is changing, and so the younger people who I am of a like mind with are like, you were great for years and years, but now she is like set in her ways, which are entrenched because she and other politicians like herself have been in there for a long time, for many terms. What? So I don't want to discount her abilities and she had like great senses for that job. Like, she was uniquely qualified for it. But being set in her ways and sort of having that mindset of, this is how it's always been, I know how to fix it, I know how it's going to work. Her time has come and gone. People like her that have been in there and are like rutted in a way in their belief that the way things we've been doing it is always going to work. I think the recent times have shown us that what has worked isn't even doing it anymore. Something else is happening on just about every front. And so, taking it seriously, it's a daunting choice we're faced with. And I feel like I have no trouble putting things in the hands of younger people as far as like they replacing older guard people like Nancy Pelosi, and I don't want to name names because I don't want to antagonize anyone, but Chuck Schumer's coming to mind. Like, whatever he was, I'm sorry to put it this way, this is the way it's coming out, whatever he was good for in the past, it ain't gonna work for him or us anymore. So we have to choose wisely, or the young people coming in to replace them with the new ideas, like Zoran Mamdani, who has driven the left and the right wing of older people completely off their rockers. They're just having a name-calling fest on this guy. He's a young guy, he's Muslim, he's an immigrant, but when he immigrated and 9/11 happened, he was 8 or 9 years old. Probably didn't have a lot of input to that whole thing, which some parts of that, some of those facts are known, maybe. I don't know. Information is very difficult to trust anymore, even though that's old information. It's always been kind of weird because it's like inside job, outside Muslims attacking America, cat having 5 a.m. zoomies. It's crazy, I tell you. So, choices going forward, represented by a young, vigorous mindset. And we need the youth and the vigor going forward, because what is being left to these younger generations is kind of a mess, and there is rubble and debris of a kind to be picked up and sorted through as we move forward. So, okay, the next card is the Three of Wands. And I love this because I love the surfer imagery. I mean, just looking at it, I have associations that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but sort of more of stuff from my own life background. But it's very familiar imagery to me. And so, according to the book here, seven represents seven of wands. Oh, get on the correct page, silly goose. So, 2 of wands. Oh, sorry, this is 3. 3 of wands. There is a sign of progress. The plan is in place and is starting to be implemented. So choices have been made. They're figuring it out. Choices have been implemented. So standing on the edge of the wheel of change at like its perihelion before it rolls into or continues rolling progressively forward. The progress keeps rolling forward. Okay, so hold on, I'm getting my notes together here. My booklet, my cheat sheet. Next card is 7 of Wands. So this person is meditating, and I can't help but notice that they are also very youthful looking. But meditation practices and self-care rather than self-help, but I guess self-help too. Self-care routines are something that in the past we humans as a people used to teach each other how to do, or we used to educate our kids, and our societies used to be long time ago, like in the time of the Essenes, used to teach this type of thing like meditation, because it's a type of personal mediation and helps you clear the head when you're confronted with all of these kinds of multiple choice situations. And you'll see she's calmly sitting in her bubble of security and protection from all of the noise and activity underneath, trying to reach her and trying to break her concentration, knock her out of her calm, and make her react, which, if you have the choice to respond versus react, you always want to go with respond, because respond suggests that you have taken a moment to give some thought to your response, to your reaction to whatever the stimulus poking at you might happen to be. That could represent ideas coming to you for, hey, being presented to you, like, hey, let's try this, let's do that, like you're in a position of authority, sort of, like, or at least people are coming to you as you are literally sitting in a crystal ball for answers, because you're calm, cool, and collected in the face of all of this sort of mishigas underneath because it's like, what are we doing? Everything's changing so fast. I don't know how to act. Everything I'm used to is going away. What do I do? What do I do? And she's showing you, take a deep breath, be calm, be still, surrender to it instead of reacting to whatever the stimuli is. It's going to take you further. Go inward, go quiet, go deep. Get out of this loud staff clacking noise, clashing. So, it tried to leap away. It tried to run away from me when I tried to grab it. The Chariot is the next card. The card of, activity. Look at the sky in the background. It's about to come down, whatever it is. The storm is rolling in. And the two horses there in the foreground are different colors, and you can see they are literally, here's what the book says. Hold on, let me find it. This is great. Okay, so look at the horses. The book says, it's from a different deck. It's from a traditional deck, not this artsy-fartsy deck. But it reads, the Chariot. I gotta put the card down. The Chariot, with its triumphant occupant, okay, indicates forward motion, success, and willpower. Although the Sphinxes, which they normally are on the Chariot card, and will normally look something like this, like actual Sphinxes. Sorry, I don't mean to be flipping people off. So, the Sphinxes, although the Sphinxes are of opposite color and pulling in opposite directions, the Chariot still moves forward through the willpower of the driver. The Chariot rider wasn't given any of his possessions. Oh, sorry. The Chariot rider wasn't given any of his possessions. He earned them through dedication and personal achievement. So I had made a notation on here, fork in the road, because recently I was having a conversation with someone on Substack that had written about when we reach the metaphysical fork in the road in our lives. And just a second, I don't know why my throat chakra is trying to choke me. Hold on. But she was writing about meeting the fork in the road, and the comment that I made was, I don't know when I made this decision, but at some point, fairly recently, within the past 5 years or so, I decided that reaching a fork in the road represents two choices that you might not want to take either direction. And personality-wise, this idea appeals to me, but rather than taking either of two choices you don't really want to take, something that might be offered you as alternatives from the older guard, something that they think would sound all good to these people, to this person that takes a moment or several to think about things before moving ahead. And you have the horses pulling in two directions. That kind of syncs with my thinking that reaching the fork in the road with two unsuitable choices, you forge a new path. That has always been my natural way of thinking about it, because a fork in the road represents difficulty that you have to figure out. And if neither of the choices are good, the words alone, fork in the road, sound like those are your only two choices. They're not. You can go a new way. It's that time to make a new choice. like the United States and the world are at that juncture. The last card is the Nine of Wands. Note her fence. It obviously represents a form of protection. It is not completely filled in. It looks like it could be easily knocked down, but also easily slapped back up. Maybe it represents protection of a sense that, of a type that we're not so much in need of anymore. Like, we are moving away from the apocalyptic fear that basically has been more of the world than we realize. Like, so much is geared to make us fearful and paralyzed and in need of assistance, of someone to swoop in and save us almost, when all along it was really our choices and our decisions to make. And in a climate of fear and noise and just ruckus, all designed to knock you out of your bubble of protection, and that space it gives you, even while all this chaotic activity is happening, all of this progression and things just being sort of choices thrown at you, and you know they're not, when you have this many, the reason why you have to think about it so much, as the figure in the card is doing, is because you might make a choice that doesn't work out well, does not for the good, for the betterment of all. So you want to really take a moment and consider your choice so you can make the wise one. Having gone through all of that and reached the point where, you, as you can see, she's basically ended up with all of the sticks at the bottom of this picture. Like, she has conquered the chaos and the unpredictability of the situation, or gotten to a place where when that comes, she can easily break down this fence and use it as defense, or it can just be like an ornamental fence, because yes, it's protecting her ideas or property or her life of, like, herself or her family, whatever is valuable to her that she holds dear is protected, yes, but the situation, the climate is not as chaotic and dire a choice as it used to be. And so from there, you have a situation where opportunities become available to you. Each choice can be an opportunity, or is an opportunity, because anything you end up in, any choice that lands you in whatever situation, is not something to be feared. It is something to take in, even as the chaos is happening. You have to be able to continue living in it, and you can't just be all chaos all the time. You have to make sense. There's reasons why you have to calm down, but the opportunities still lie there if you can take a moment to consider. Like, this person is in a moment of contemplation, I feel, like looking at the ocean, which can be hypnotic and lull you into a meditative state. So this person has gone through all of those things, and they've reached a new state of security where it's loose but can become active if necessary. But going forward, that is not in the cards. Oh my gosh, okay, you're so funny, the universe. Okay, I'm having a lot of time being able to talk. Hold on, a lot of time, a lot of trouble. I don't know, I feel like the cards spoke for themselves, and it's something I think we all need to hear and consider, especially if we're older people who feel safe with the way things were, even though it's chaotic and crazy and not really safe anymore. And, you know, it really never was. But we choose, we make choices, and that affects our beliefs. But we have opportunities. Like, the fear is like static. If we can just sort of ignore that kind of flight or fright mechanism when there's nothing to run from or be afraid of, it's just a reflex. If we can learn to get around that, that's progress. That allows progress. Okay, thank you and good night.